Coming to you live from Savannah, Georgia, it's SPP, the show, with your host, Chris Bass. Tonight's guest, Broadway photographer and actor Matthew Stocke, and thought-provoking entrepreneur David Stringer, with music from the Solo Mr. Band, and special content from Shani P and Molly B. And now, he's all that, a bag of chips, and a big old handful of Skittles, Chris Bass.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday night, and you know what that means. That means I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. I've just walked into this area. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of strange, ethereal space, possibly a time machine, possibly a phone booth. I'm not really sure, but I'm here. I think I just made some weird reference to the TARDIS, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, you know what that is. Do we know what that is? I don't know. I should hear a noise right now that would say what that is. We don't know. Some sort of weird TARDIS-y noise would be. Exactly. Wow, that was very, very. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know where that weird noise is coming from. I believe it's from the TARDIS. Oh, geez. All right. So, whoever that is, please refrain. Please refrain. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my crew here. This is Mr. Michael Ray and Shannon Lowry. Michael, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good.
Okay.
That was a Elastic reference.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. No, please let your sound work. That would be awesome. Shannon, it is so nice to see you. I like for the last two episodes, I've been saying, and special content from Shani P. And I think the P stands for your middle name, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Shannon Lowry she's our go-to social media manager. She has been hyping us up to no end. So thank you for that, Shannon. What's going on?
Well, Chris, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. It's nice to meet everybody virtually. We are so excited to announce that not only did we break 100 YouTube subscribers, I checked it right before the show now, it might be up again, but it's 119 right now, which we talked a month ago. That was a big goal. So already just coming out of the gate. So we're super excited. And now we have a vanity URL for Savannah Performance Project for the YouTube. So now you can find us at youtube.com/Savannah Performance Project. No extra jazz at the end.
Really? That's all you need? You just need that little bit of information. Wow. You know what? I got to try that right now just to make sure that you're not pulling my chain or anything. It's youtube.com Savannah Performance. And yeah, do some music here because this is all very anticipatory. What's going on right now? Let's see. You said something, and I'm not sure that. And of course, I typed it wrong. Oh, wow.
I'll get you. Unfortunately, we don't have a URL for misspellings.
And okay, so I think we need an extra character. Yes, we do. I think we need a C for channel. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. It doesn't
there we
matter.
Go.
This is all. I've floundered into oblivion now, and I apologize. Shannon, anything else special going on right now that we could talk about?
Yes, so we're excited to announce that our friends at the Savannah Underground, which is a new theatrical immersion experience happening at the Clyde venue, are going to be on Friday's show. So make sure you tune in to check that out. They're going to be opening their show, I believe, on March 3rd, and it's running through the month of March. They had a soft opening show for media people last week. I did not get to go, but I heard it was awesome, and I saw a lot of pictures from it. So make sure you check it out. It's like a 3-part story series, and it's socially distanced and everything, but it's immersive, and you're right there in it, and they're acting out the scenes, and it's all historically based stories about Savannah, which is very unique. And so check it out.
And I hear that it's not for the faint of heart. Is that correct?
Yes, it's supposed to be pretty scary, pretty intense situations. They got some exorcist level stuff, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
scary.
yeah. Just a minute, just to talk about how we met, Shannon. So last year, not this time, but the year before, just like right around November, we were involved in a show together, which was known as Elf the Musical. So I thought you were an outstanding elf as well as office person.
Thank you, and a reporter. I was a
Amazing,
reporter
and
too.
that's true. You were the reporter,
Yeah, those are my
and
first
that was great.
lines ever. I've never spoken lines on
Really?
stage. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you remember them?
Um. Dun, 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 dun. I remember her name was Charlotte. No, I don't remember
Yes,
it, but
that's
I
right. Her
remember
name
all
was
the
Charlotte.
choreography from the show because
Excellent.
my expertise is dance.
Yes, yes. You are a ballerinist. Is that correct? I think that's the word for it. Yeah, ballerinist. Susan Dacus, how are you? She's shouting out to my crew. So yes, we have a crew now. Congratulations. We've moved up in the world. And guys, thanks so much for coming on and helping out. And Shannon, I'm going to let you go now. You can go enjoy the rest of the boiled peanuts that we sent you in the mail for your charcuterie board. I know you requested those, so enjoy that, and
Yeah.
more from you in the coming weeks, I'm sure.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Yep. Hey, bye. Shannon may continue to watch the show. I don't know what she's going to do. She might have Pilates instruction that she has to take care of. I made that up. Do people do Pilates anymore?
Maybe. People definitely
Maybe.
yoga. I mean,
yeah. People are yogaing all the time now, I think. My wife goes to yoga like at least 12 times a day.
Really?
Yeah.
12 times a day. That's
yeah.
I'm actually yogaing right now. Is that a verb?
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
You can yoga anytime you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we had some fun last week with you because the sound on your end was not working. I'm so pleased that it's working now, and that we can actually hear you. Before we could just see your face and make reactions to it. And thank you, Dina Blizzard, for being such a wonderful comedian and poking fun at you. I hope that's okay. Yes, actually, Shannon, she just told me for sure she is a Pilates instructor. So great, I guessed correctly. Wow,
you're betting 1,000, man.
I am, or at least two total. Mm-hmm.
Two.
She has now gone, I believe, to do some Pilates, so that's great. Michael, what's going on with you? What's heading into the future in your sites there? What you working on?
I'm working on. So I've got a little company called Mr. Studios, and I'm helping education groups, whether it's schools, people, bands, do virtual work that they can be really proud of. So you've probably seen like the virtual choir thing or virtual band thing, and it's for the most part they're just kind of like basic boxes, and it sometimes it sounds good, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm just trying to like give it everything so that it's something they can be proud of, not only now, but 10 years from now. So just making it visually dynamic, making the audio sound as professional as we possibly can, basically doing everything we possibly can to make a virtual performance come to life.
Yeah. And I've seen a couple of those. They've been really amazing. Specifically, I saw one for my daughter's school. You worked with the orchestra there and created a Christmas concert for them when they couldn't meet at all. And I thought, wow, it was extraordinary. I will share a link. I promise I'll share a link this time.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Don't share a link. Yeah. And I think you're working with them on something else too. So very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I've got some other things in the works. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And I also like to do just fun, nerdy stuff for myself too. So, it's a combo of a bunch of things.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have the brothers Ray or the Ray brothers. Or
Ray brothers, yeah, they're
yeah.
kind of recurring character. Maybe you'll have them on at some point. They're pretty fun.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome.
They've had
Can
haircuts
you?
though, but
Oh, well,
yeah.
could you get in touch with them? I'd like to book them for a coming up show. Maybe in March we could have them on. That'd be great.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they're in pretty high demand, so yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Michael, I suppose if I let you sit back and be what you are for the show, which is our musical instrument, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Ray. And if I do have a Frank Sinatra tune later, I hope that you'll have it ready to go.
Oh, okay, sure. We're gonna try this. That'll be fun.
Sure, why not? Whatever. Michael, I'll let you sit back for a minute. I'm going to do some. I don't know what I'm going to take some notes. I think probably. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, this is show number 1 of season 2, and you are here to enjoy a reunion of 2 gentlemen who are just astounding people, amazing people, reprobates. As a matter of fact, that I'm using that word correctly. That's a positive term, correct? I think. Yes. And I got to meet them through actually my sister, which is kind of weird. Mr. David Stringer happens to be my sister Susan's boss. And Susan, you're watching right now, and she's just saying awesome because my sister loves me. So for loving me, continuing to love me, even through these trying times where I have no idea what I'm saying. Anyway, Mr. David Stringer is he's an entrepreneur. He is a forward thinker. Some might even suggest he is today's Tony Stark. Some might suggest that. We'll see if they're correct. But he's been on the show before. I'm going to bring him back now. We're going to chat a little bit, and then something amazing is going to occur very quickly. So, David, what's up, man? Oh, look, Michael's still there. What are you doing, man? Get out of here. Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
I was going to play him on. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just
All
play
right.
it along. It's fine. I enjoy theme music, though Tony Stark is a bit of a stretch. He was much more scientific than I will ever be. I'm just a good English major, and that's about it. And I would like for the record to show that Chris called his sister weird. If you go back and listen to it, he called her weird. Anyway, so.
And that is okay. That is okay. She knows I'm weird. I know she's weird. Michael, I don't think I'm going to be able to hear you if I remove you from it. But if we need some music, I will bring you in immediately.
Do so. I'll be waiting.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
and
yeah.
And technically, I have to just set all the records straight. First off, I am not Susan's boss. So Susan works for her boss is my business partner, James Brooks.
I see.
So she works for James, and other people work with me. I don't ever like saying people work for me. They don't. I work for them. They work for the company, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yes.
So, setting the record straight. And my sister. So I see your sister, and I will raise you a sister. My sister is on now too, and. Well, not to your face, Alice. I will never call you weird to your face.
Yes,
hey, thank you. Thank you for bringing me back on the show. I was just putting in the comments to Susan that the last time I was on the show, it was just me. Literally. Like, you left the show and you just left me here to just talk. And
that's true.
Oh, it's nice to be back, and there's other people that are in charge of the show, it sounds like.
Oh, no, there's actually no one in charge of the show. As a matter of fact, I have to look at my internet connection constantly to make sure I'm on the right router. I have like 3 routers in the house, and I have to be on the closest one. Luckily tonight, I am on the closest one. So unless Jacob, my son, takes over the Wi-Fi by streaming content, we're not in trouble. We're okay. We're okay. Is what I'm trying to say. So.
Excellent.
Good going. And Jacob is going to love the fact that I mentioned him during the show. He's going to absolutely adore that.
Well done, Jacob.
Well done. David, what have you been up to? It's been a while. And yeah, it's you guys, you and your partner, who is going to be coming on momentarily, started a podcast.
Yeah.
And then in July, you stopped doing your podcast because other things were going on. Tell me what happened.
Well, it was a confluence of things, you know.
Well, first, let's go back. Actually, let's go back and talk about the podcast itself, because it was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
How did it come about?
It came about because Matt, who you'll again be reintroduced to in a minute, posted something on Facebook that he had no idea how to navigate the craziness that was going on with the payroll protection and the stimulus and what should he do. And I posted a message back to him that we should talk because I had just gone through that with our company Insignia Group. And so I was a bit of an expert on it. And so we got on the phone, and a couple of scotches and some beers later, over that phone call, we had decided we needed to do a podcast because it was a great combination of business and as well as the arts, and how that combination of discussion of where the effect of everything that was going on from March really all the way through July and all of 2020, really, how that was significantly affecting the performing arts, what folks could do in that industry, how to pivot, how to come up with different ideas. So we just found a place of commonality where some, magic stuff came together, and we said, screw it, let's just try this. And the funniest line of the whole thing was, I said to Matt, hey, Matt, we should do a podcast. And he goes, that's fantastic. What's a podcast? So literally, we threw it together in a couple of weeks. There he is.
Yeah, there he is right there. You threw it together in a couple of weeks. Hey, math. I said math. I don't know why. I'm no good at math, so I'm not going to say it again. Matt, you threw it together in a couple of weeks, and now you know what podcasting is.
Okay, so I didn't know what a podcast was. I had no idea what to do with it, how it started. I listened to things. I listened to Bill Burr's podcast because he's a genius. But yeah, and also the thing that Dave didn't mention is we've known each other for 20 years. It wasn't just like I posted something on Facebook and Dave said, I'm going to jump in there and tell this guy what to do. David is my best friend's cousin, as some people might know this from when we were doing our show or when we were on Chris's show before. I know Alice, I know Shocker because you know him too. But yeah, so when Dave and I were having this conversation about this stuff, he cleared up all my issues with the PP, all the stuff for my corporation and all that shit. So he jumped in.
Oh, I should have had Michael Ray on at that minute. I apologize. He would have gone.
Yeah. And then Dave and I started talking, as we've been wont to do over the years of knowing each other. We never met a conversation we didn't like. And that's when it all started. That's when we said, we have these ideas and we have all this stuff. And, David said, yeah, but, whatever we talk about, it can't be some BS Chinese toilet paper fortune cookie thing. And I was like, there's the name of our podcast. We took out the BS and we took out the Chinese, and we were just like, toilet paper fortune cookie, because right now everyone's just looking for things and going, I don't know where the next idea is going to come from, but it's on a piece of toilet paper and a fortune cookie. Maybe that's the thing. And it literally was born in 10 minutes. Like we talked about, okay, here's what we're going to talk about. Here's how we're going to set it up. And it started out kind of slowly and it turned into a big thing. And then basically what happened at the end of July was that Chris is ruining it. What is he doing? Is he wrecking the place?
I don't know. I messed up. Sorry. There we go.
The star power of David Stringer just sent your place into
yeah, I think so.
Oh, by the way, before you go there, Matt, I do want to say, Chris, you've used an unauthorized picture of me for the promo, which is absolutely hysterical. That was a Facebook joke of a profile. I hate selfies. Oh, it was totally that. It was like,
wait. The sun is shining in my eyes. The sun's shining in my eyes. Just open them now.
So yeah, you really got me there. So
Someone said,
that
"Dave,
was
no
meant
problem.
to be a
What?
total joke on my profile. So
You know, I love selfies. Those are my favorites.
hate
Selfies
it.
and yeah.
But anyway, fast forward
Anyway.
back to July. Sorry, I interrupted there. So
We ended up doing the show for several months, and we had a great time. And we started
13 episodes.
Yeah, we really did. We had a bunch of people from my field, a bunch of people from Dave's field, and we were talking about a lot of the subject matter. And then what happened for me was, all during that time, things were happening at a very different pace than they were around the country, especially here in New York City. It started to catch up in July. It started to open up in July and August, and things started getting very busy. And I got involved in several other projects, which led to other things, and I'm very glad I did them. At the time, I felt like my energy was better focused on doing things like that. Basically, things that were going to, lead to work, because we still don't know, in our field, especially here in New York and in the Broadway community, what's going to happen. We really don't know. We still probably have another year. Who knows? Which is crazy, but it's true. So I've been concentrating on other things and building more firm inroads to make a living over the last, I guess, 6 months since July. And it was worth it to focus my time and energy into such things, with the idea that Dave and I talked about back then, that at any moment we could pick it up. And, I'm looking forward to that. And I hope that, maybe this right here can lead to me and Dave kind of, re-upping and seeing where we can go from it. Because it was a great experience. We had a lot of really great conversations, great guests. We had like our third co-host for a couple of shows, which was amazing, Jessica. And we always had guests on, and it was a really great experience, especially for a time when here everything was so unsure, everything was so uncertain, that it really gave me a way of connecting with other parts of the country, with you guys, getting people's input, a lot of support for, hang in there, and everyone's going to get through it. And the difference is, then it was a very kumbaya time. I don't feel the least bit kumbaya anymore. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear anything more about, oh my God, we're all sticking together. No, screw this. We're done. We're done with this thing. Get your damn vaccination. Put your damn mask on. We got to end this thing. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Everybody's tired of it. Let's go. Because we're this close. We're this freaking close to having like a semblance of, it's not going to be normal for another couple of years, but a semblance of, okay, now we know how to really live our lives doing this thing. We're so close.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Lord.
Let's go.
So that's,
and
it's also, because it fluctuates here so much, because it was originally the epicenter. We went down to one of the lowest infection rates in the country, have maintained that in Manhattan. Other places haven't, but it's still so. We had a taste of kind of normalcy when the restaurants were open in the late summer and fall. We had a taste of kind of normalcy, and then for the holidays, everything got shut back down, which turns out would have been a good idea in other places. But nonetheless, now it's kind of coming out of it, just like, come on, like it's just keep hitting this wall of, you see so many businesses and industries that are open, have done things the right way, have more venues to continue. We don't. So you got to get your head out of your ass and do things the right way. Even the TV and film productions, I have friends who are shooting, who are regulars on episodical TV shows. One person goes to the wrong party, they shut it down. Not even if you're positive. It doesn't even have to be a positive test. If the contact tracing says you were at a party or you get nabbed doing something stupid, they shut down all of Law and Order. You want to do that? You want to pull that upon yourself? Something tells me you're not getting hired again.
Michael, I have to say, somebody said Law and Order, so
I don't even know if I know. Is it? Is that Law and Order?
something like that. Yeah, that's close. That's close.
Is that the right legal show? I don't know. I was kumbayaing for you, by the way.
I heard that. Thank you.
Oh, you did hear it. Okay, cool.
Yes. No kumbaya. Screw that.
Oh man.
Water or something.
Yeah. So every now and then, I have to put myself in that space in Manhattan, just thinking about what's going on up there and how guys are faring, how you're subsisting on just, I mean, because you're basically staying indoors the whole time, right? No, you're getting out now. Yeah. Great. That's wonderful. Because you're sick of it. You're sick of it.
I don't think you heard his part about screw this. Man,
Right.
Okay, a couple of things. Number one, from the beginning of the pandemic, I never stayed home. I really didn't. I was probably breaking all the rules, but what I was doing was I was paying attention to the rules, but I was still going out. Meaning, I was jogging every day because all of a sudden it was like the beginning of the spring, which I can't believe.
Yeah.
I went running today. It was 28 degrees. What are you going to do? But that's for my head more than anything. So at the start, it was getting warmer as the days went on. The days were getting longer. Thank God the days are getting longer now. We still have light at like 5:30. Hooray. But no, I was doing everything. I was going to the grocery store, but I was doing it with a mask. I was washing my hands all the time. I was following all the protocols, but I was not sitting at home. I was pretty cavalier about it. And also, I got the damn virus. So that was
there you go.
My reward for doing it all right. And my girlfriend got it. We both made it through. Very fortunate that, I, along with most of my friends who got it, including David's relatives and in-laws, we all got it and we made it through without much, hassle. And as science has told us, those of us with a certain blood test or certain blood type, a lot of things lead to very low infection rate, or at least very mild infection symptoms at the time. So no, I never stayed home. And I was one of the big proponents of, if you do things right, you can live your life. Mm-hmm. I also got very fortunate that I had the virus and the antibodies. So I was able to somewhat more freely enter society while feeling safe to do it. And even though till today there have been 100 million cases and like 27 cases of reinfection, I'll take my chances. Like, it's such an anomaly that somebody gets infected twice that whatever. Anyway, the thing is, I was kind of trying to live my life the entire time. And that was a lot of what what TPFC was how do you, instead of going forward, how do you go this way, go that way, just a little bit. We always talked about pivoting. And it got to the point in the fall where it felt like we were all pivoting and we were going straight forward. And then, of course, the second wave that they said was going to happen and nobody believed happened. And, it caused everything to go back inside again. But to tell you the truth, if you saw Midtown Manhattan from last July until now, you'd be kind of hard-pressed to think that there was a shutdown. I mean, you really would. I mean, other than just sheer volume of people, which there aren't, because there's not many people working in the office buildings, there are tourists here. There are tons of tourists here. They're probably getting great deals on hotels. That's all I'm thinking. They really are. I have a hotel that's 100 yards from me on the corner of 49th and 10th. My road, my street is a thoroughfare for people coming through, looking at their, photos, books, and things like that.
Hey, Helen, you want to book something for March? We could go up there in March. You want to do that? All right, sounds good.
The standards that these hotels have to live up to, and they have to be cleaned, and they have to. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, one of the safer places to be in the world right now is Midtown freaking Manhattan because of all the protocols. I mean, it's crazy. So it's just now, like I say, back then it was very kind of kumbaya and very, let's all band together and all this stuff. And we kind of proved ourselves to be, an idiotic country over the last 7 or 8 months. And so now it's just like, okay, no more time for I know, can you believe? No more time. I'm tired of it. No more sentimentality about this crap. Let's go. No.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I agree. And I mean, you hit up on a key point there, which is the pivot. And you mentioned it before, David, the pivot. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have learned during this time, or at least I know I have learned that the pivot is the most important thing that we could take away from this. That if you find yourself in these dire circumstances, there's always another path, there's always a different way to go. And I think some of us have taken advantage of that. And then some of us have just stuck and sat and done nothing. And I feel like if you do nothing, where are you going? That's
that's in any circumstance of life that you find yourself in. What was unique about this whole situation was this was when we were all in it together. I mean, when you think about going through life, there's not that many people collectively going through a pivot all at the same time, which made a lot of our content of the podcast centered around how do we do that all together and how do we help each other and exchange ideas because we're all sort of going through that together. I think that process that I think everybody goes through where they hit a wall with something. It could be, a death in the family, a divorce, a change of job, a sickness, any number of different life-changing events. You have you have that capacity to sit it and wallow in it and do nothing, or pick yourself up, find a way to get through that. And so a lot of the stuff that we talked about on that podcast can be, I think, reviewed back as life guidance, and for just normal things that go on in life. I mean, nobody wants to go through some sort of a horrific tragedy. No one wants to go through some sort of a big challenge. And when you're faced with it, you've got a choice. You either put your shoulder into it and get through it, find ways to get through it, which is kind of what we talked about, or like you're saying, Chris, just sort of sit and wallow in it. And I think, any people are going to do that no matter what. So
yeah, I agree. I mean,
you can't get upset when, hey, you're wallowing in your shit. Come on, pick yourself up. Well, eventually people will in their time.
There's nobody in these little 3 boxes who would have ever done that. And I'm not coming down on people, because I have lots of friends, especially fellow actors, who left. They just left. And you know what? I'm not crapping on anybody for how you dealt with this situation. You know what I mean? It's like, however you had to deal with this, and it's traumatic on everybody. I don't care if it didn't touch you. I don't care if you were in some town where it didn't touch you and there was no count, no nothing. You're still watching TV. You're still hearing about it. And whether or not you believe that everything you hear is true, there's still 450,000 people who are dead. Don't know whether people believe what killed them or not. Doesn't matter. 450,000 people are dead. There are repercussions to it, even if they are peripheral, even if you're not on the front line. I've been saying for the last year, I couldn't be happier that I was in the middle of the freaking epicenter of this thing from the beginning, because it gives you more of a perspective on where you stand, as opposed to being sort of the outside looking at it going, oh, look at New York. Oh my God, they're dirty. They're terrible. They're all banged up, and it's never going to get to us. And I never, ever once said, oh, really? But, oh, really? It was the kind of thing where for a while there, it was looked on as just like, well, there's another thing that happens in New York where all the people spread all the germs. Okay. But as it went on, the whole thing went like this. The whole thing went like that. And I was very happy that from the beginning, the one thing we did here was everybody paid attention. Everybody paid attention. And kind of they said, you need to go inside and not do anything. Okay, sort of.
Can I go up on the roof and I went
up on the roof all the time.
Do lives on the roof. That
I was on the roof all the time. I wish I was still doing it. That there's 8 inches of snow on my roof right now. But
that was awesome.
Yeah.
No, and in talking to people who are now coming back to New York, first of all, if anybody wants an apartment in New York, get it now.
Right. Yeah. I know at least 5 people that are here in Savannah now that are trying to sell their apartment up in New York.
Dude,
there you go.
The buyer's market is a very different thing, but the rental market here, if you want a pied-à-terre in the Battery District, come get it. It's crazy, the rentals right now. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. People are getting 1-bedroom apartments for $1,600, in down in the financial district. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm like,
and speaking of retail, speaking of commercials, speaking of those kinds of things, actually, we got to stop for a minute and go to our commercial. We have our sponsors there. They've been waiting. They've paid me much money. So we're gonna switch to the commercial real quick. And when we come back, we're going to talk about photography.
I'm going to be watching Jeopardy.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds
good. You do have a hard stop at 7:30, so he can watch Jeopardy. I mean,
right.
No. I'm missing it for you guys. Jeopardy's on right now.
So Jeopardy's on now?
I'm missing it. What I have to do is at 7:28, I need to record Final Jeopardy for my girlfriend who's teaching right now. So at 7:27 or 7:28, I need to record Final Jeopardy.
Amazing.
So that when she's on the bus back home from teaching ballet, she gets to play Final Jeopardy because I'm a good boyfriend.
Final Jeopardy. Nice. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment, but here's a word from our sponsors.
912-598-6322. Today, to set up your first visit. Minors now, because sometimes, imagine. Can you imagine a time when doctors...
All right, take two. Take two. A word from our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you imagine a time when doctors made house visits? I can't remember the last time anyone paid us a visit. But did you know that even now, there's a way to get reliable medical care in the privacy and security of your own home? My Nurse Now. The staff of nurses at My Nurse Now specialize in urgent care at home with virtual and personal physician visits, offering simple or complex medical care in the comfort of your own home. Get in touch with them at 912-598-6322 today to set up your first visit. My Nurse Now, because sometimes getting to a doctor's office isn't that easy.
My Nurse Now, because sometimes getting to a doctor's office isn't that easy, especially right now when, they don't want you there. They want you to stay home. Well, they want you to sit in the parking lot until they're ready for you. What kind of deal is that? I mean, really. Anyway, hey, we're back. And I still have my guests. They haven't left. Although, David, you're on mute. There he is. He's back.
I was being a good person backstage. So earlier I was trying to bring up the video so I knew kind of what was going on. And I kept being, I don't know if I was on mute or not because I was afraid that the sound was reverbing. So if that happened when you watch the playback, I'm guilty. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't hear anything. So I think we're good.
All right.
How dare you, Dave?
Yeah. No comments from the people that are watching right now. And let me bring one of those people up right now who says, I like photography.
Who is Susan?
Susan is my sister.
I know. She's the star of the show.
Yes, she is. She's always the star.
Susan, what do you like about photography?
Yeah, tell us what you like about photography. Actually,
she
Susan,
can call in. I thought
she
you
can
said
call in.
Why didn't you send her? Why don't you bring Susan on the show?
Well, I mean, I could absolutely send her a link and bring her on the show, but that's
what was your spin?
Always up to her.
When you promoted the next segment, Chris, you said we're going to talk photography. What are we going to talk? What are we doing? What are we talking about?
I want to talk about your photography company and what you have cataloged during this time. Like, what scenes have you cataloged during this time? Because I've seen some amazing scenes, but they're very, blank. But
I've been so fortunate to have been my sort of side hustle for a number of years, which has turned into my main hustle this year for sure. I started shooting pictures when I was 12 years old, and my uncle he taught photojournalism in the Navy, and he got me very interested in the hobby of it. I was 12. I had all these cameras, and it was really, really fun. My parents thought it was great because it wasn't some crappy hobby. It wasn't a cheap hobby, but as long as it wasn't something like you're not just sitting home playing video games, they indulged me. I had my own dark room. It really taught me a lot about a really cool art form. I had to give it up when I decided to be an actor for a long time because I had to concentrate on that. I was living in Los Angeles, most boring place in the world, and I was bored because I was doing a show out there, and I went and I bought a digital camera. First time I bought a digital DSLR in 2006, and then I started getting back into it as a hobby. And then my uncle started sending me all kinds of stuff because he had, given into the fact that digital technology had begun to rival that of analog, of film photography. So I got back into it just as a hobby. And then in 2012, 2013, I was with David's cousin and his wife, and we were taking pictures of their kids. And Dag said to me, why don't you do this? You should do this as a thing. Make this a thing. Like, you're good at this. And I said, what do I do? She said, go home and start a business. I went home. I opened up a Facebook page. I got about 30 pictures of my favorite pictures, and I put up a thing. And I used my middle name, James, instead of my last name to separate that from my acting career. And it was Matt James Photography. And I was like, okay, I'm in business. Let's see if anybody ever cares. And I started out shooting a bunch of my friends for free to shoot their headshots, as people do. And then eventually I convinced myself that I could charge people. And then it turned into a really nice secondary profession as opposed to a kind of side gig. As I was getting into the 25th year of my acting career, I sort of realized that it was going to be as enjoyable and possibly as lucrative as my acting career. And then the pandemic happened, which at the end of my 25th year. And I remember talking to Dave about it a lot on the show. And at first I did it to answer your question, Chris. I went out and I started shooting pictures of empty theaters, which was very cathartic. I've been lucky to work in a bunch of the theaters in the Broadway district, and to see them all shut down at the same time is crazy. You always have one that's closed because a show closes, or you'll have 5 theaters that are closed, but there are 30 that are open. Having them all closed at the same time was beyond eerie. It was heartbreaking, to say the least. And the thing that struck me the most is I walked around in April when there was nobody here. It was a ghost town. Was that these buildings seemed to be looking for us. They seemed to be, for the first time in 100 years, all of them were shut down, and they were kind of waiting for people to, where's everybody? Not even the doorman. There's no doorman. There's no guy sweeping up the lobby. There's nothing. Nobody's there. So I started doing that. And then because my girlfriend, Courtney, is smarter than me, she said, what if you got somebody from each show? What if you got somebody you knew from the shows that were shut down to come back and you take pictures of them at the theater? And so I started making phone calls, and I did it with 4 or 5 of my friends. We went back to their theaters, and I also followed it up by asking a series of 3 questions to people. What were you doing on the day when you found out Broadway was shutting down? What have you been doing since? And what are you looking forward to most when Broadway reopens? And I did all of that. And then on a lark, I called my buddy Paul Wanerick, who is the editor of broadway.com. And I said, I started doing this thing. I've known him for years. And I said, I started doing this thing, these interviews with people at their theater outside, kind of looking in the windows, just kind of sitting there waiting in front. And I said, I also started this series of questions. Are you interested? And he said, we have no content. Like, absolutely, please, anything. He's like, what are we writing about right now? Nothing. There's no theater anywhere. So, right. These sort of editorial pieces were good. And we ended up doing like 26 of them. So it was really an amazing cathartic thing. Plus I got to see my friends. They got to come back and look at their theaters. Some people got incredibly emotional, as you can imagine. Some people left their dressing rooms and hadn't been back. They left everything as it was. They just left things like, gee, I hope I didn't leave a carton of milk open. They just left. They left on March 12th, and that was it. And they hadn't been back, and most haven't been back since. So it's been 11 months. But that was a great project. I did that through the fall until one of the things is we ran out of shows, and then also some shows weren't really sure if they were going to be reopening, which is still another thing that's happening. When things do reopen, how many shows are going to reopen? They don't know. So we did a lot of that. It was it was so rewarding. Lindsay Sullivan, who is one of the big cheeses over at broadway.com, she did all the interviews with me, and it was wonderful. And we can post a thing too. It's called on broadway.com. It's #awayfromhome. And it'll have all of them listed there, and they're great. They're really, really great, and they're great interviews. And she did an excellent job, and I got published every week, and it was very exciting, and they were really cool. And the photographs mean a lot to me, and it meant a lot to the people who were being interviewed. And at the same time, I saw a thing in July, near the end of July, that was on Playbill, that a bunch of photographers around the country had done something called 10,000 headshots. And what they did was they got about 250 photographers around the country to schedule 15-minute photo shoots with people, actors, business people, whoever, anybody who wanted a new photograph of themselves as business started to open up again, as people needed them for their socials, for LinkedIn, for anything. And I missed out on it. Otherwise, I would have loved to have done it. I was like, oh, I missed it. It was last week and this and that. And again, Courtney, my dear lady, she said, do it on your own.
The one that's recording Jeopardy for you, right?
No, she's recording
Jeopardy. I have to record it for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to make sure that I'm watching to make sure I get to Final Jeopardy.
I see.
But so she said, why don't you do one yourself? And I said, oh, that's a great idea. So in September, I set up a thing called September Sessions, where I did 6 shoots every Saturday with people who just wanted to sign up, and they could sign up for these 30-minute slots. And all I asked was that they give a donation to Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, or the Actors Fund in order to rebuild our community. And I never found out how much they donated. I didn't really care. I think some people, my friends at Broadway Cares, could have told me what people they can kind of track what people donate. I didn't care. I went on good faith. People were doing it. And the head of Broadway Cares, my friend Tom Viola, a very dear friend of mine, was pissed off at me because I wasn't taking any money. And I was like, I'm fine. I've worked for this organization forever, and you guys need some money. It's not that much money. It's more of just kind of like the goodwill of it. And so I did that, and it was so unbelievably rewarding. And one of the best things that came out of it was everybody that I was shooting in these 20 to 30 minute photo shoots was going, this is the way it should be. Like they were helping for me to create a new business model for shooting headshots that for decades have been these 4-hour long, 5-hour long, like appendectomy style shoots, that people hate. Nobody, I don't care how vain you are, if you're a performer or whatever, nobody likes having their face shot that much. You just get tired of looking at your face. And so at a time when people don't have a lot of money, they also don't know exactly how much work is coming up. There might be a lot, there might be none. Charging people $800 for headshots, it's just nobody's going to do it. Not only that, but people either gained the COVID-19 or they lost the COVID-19, they're coming at it from a place of going, well, I don't know, maybe I'll look completely different in 6 months. Well, if you're only $150 invested in your headshots, then you're more likely to get new ones in 6 months. So it became this thing that I'm calling short shoots, and they are 30-minute headshot sessions. And I have them priced at $150, which makes it good for my price point. It makes it good for other people's price points. And we're getting fantastic results. We take like 40 pictures instead of 300. And now I've done, I think, about 30 of them in the last 3 months. And it's been fantastic. It's been not only a lifesaver for extra money, but it makes me feel still very connected to my community. People are getting new photographs. I believe in a very sort of Buddhist way that, if you create good energy in the room you're in, you can take it out into other places. I really, truly believe that. And so it's been a wonderful thing. Also, having had the virus, having had the antibodies, having a very clean, safe environment. We also shoot right up on my roof. It makes it very safe for people who still have concerns about spreading COVID. And I take every precaution possible. And to this, from October, November, December, January, I haven't stopped shooting, and it's been great. I had 4 shoots over the weekend, and it's really been really terrific. So I'll add a link to it, on the SPP site if people want to go look at it. Obviously,
cool.
I'm not going to be here, but it's been fantastic, and that's a long way of saying that ever since I've not stopped shooting, I haven't. I mean, it's been my saving grace. I've been taking pictures the whole time. And even into the winter, we're making it work. As long as it's not completely snowing or sleeting, we can still shoot. We shot on Saturday, and it was like 28 degrees out, and nobody got cold, and I did. I stand outside, but and I have another 2 shoots tomorrow. So it's been a life-saving thing. It's been a wonderful process, and it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot of how to, Dave and I talked about this so much on the show about changing business models, about how things are being demanded that they change, and I didn't know I don't know if I would ever come up with this idea. I don't know if I ever would have come close to this idea if it hadn't been kind of thrust upon us, so I'm grateful, that I do believe that in addition to other things, and these are things that David and I talked about back, 8-9 months ago, was the amount of creativity that's going to come out of this. I think is going to be mind-blowing. I really do. It's already started. I mean, look at all the new kinds of media, the new kinds of the movies that have been shot completely remotely. It's the safety precautions are going to serve us so well. Has anybody else gotten a cold this year? I haven't.
Yeah, right. We're all washing hands and wearing masks, and
it's really crazy. It's nuts. I was like, oh well, what do you know? Some people had it right, the whole time.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the protocols which should have been in place, some of the ways that you clean your, the workplace, I think these are going to be around now. They have to be forever. And I think it's going to actually end up costing less money because less people are going to get sick. But what the hell do I know?
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Gosh, I had something I wanted to say. Now, what was it? Oh, yeah. I love the fact that your sister and my sister are the two people that are coming the most. So I appreciate that. And I just want to remind everybody, we do have a call-in Discord channel. You can call in and talk to us at any time, or I can send my sister and your sister a link, and we can just bring them on and have fun.
Listen, my sister would probably jump on in a heartbeat. I'm surprised she's not on already. We had her on, and I actually sent out a little thing to her over the weekend. In preparation for this show, I took a look at the podcast, and her show, episode 13, is the most listened to show by far, like twofold, like
wow,
double everything else. And it was her show that really brought it home for us. So it was pretty neat. And it's really interesting. You know, we haven't posted a new show since July, and we're still getting listeners. We're still getting new listeners who are coming on and listening to what we were doing and talking about. It's very time driven because we spent a lot of time talking about what was going on in the moment.
Right.
And it's still kind of neat that people are coming on and listening to that and still hopefully getting something from it, because we really did have some great guests and some great conversations about.
Well, I suppose it's time, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Wow. Hey, I'm ready. You know I'm ready.
Open up the can. Let's do it.
I'm not shy for the camera. You know that.
I just want to say my mom is here.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Mom. Nice.
She enjoys the show, of course, and is my biggest fangirl, as my sister would say.
Love it.
Yeah, I did send my sister a link, so if she wanted to join, she could. I don't know if she will or not. Is it time? Is that for Final Jeopardy?
Hold on.
Okay.
I can't miss this. You don't understand. Like,
No, I'm excited. I want to know what the question is.
when Courtney is done teaching and she's headed back, because now one of the things that is happening, they're back in-person dance classes. So
Really awesome.
Wow.
the only crappy part now is that everyone's dealing with the weather. So like last week we got it shut down because we had this, 27 inches of snow, and then of course it happens again at the beginning of the week, but they're fine. So she's in Farmingdale, Long Island today, and then she has 2 other days at a studio in New Jersey, and they're back. They have a cap on like 6 or 8 kids in the class, and then maybe 4 on Zoom, but usually 10 is about a ballet class anyway. But I know, Alice, but that's when they go to commercial at 7:22. I know. They go at 7:22, and then they come back.
We're at commercial. Yes, we're at commercial.
Are you trying to
Hey, Susan.
There she is. Susan.
Hi.
It's my sister, ladies and gentlemen. She
Hello,
has
Susan.
never been on the show. This is her first time. So
Yes, it is.
yes.
Welcome.
Awesome to bring you on.
Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, David, I haven't seen you in so long, and we work together.
I know. And it turns out I missed the staff meeting last Friday because it dropped off my calendar because I was rehearsing for some big stuff this week for NADA for our industry show. So, I haven't seen you since what? We ran each other in the office like 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I try to pop in the office at least once a week, but pretty much working from home.
Yes.
So I don't get it. So you're telling me the Jeopardy is on at 7?
It's
in New
different
York?
different cities. Very, very different in different cities. It's on Jeopardy is on at 7 here, and Wheel of Fortune is on at 7:30. And if Alice Stringer is trying to like call me out on whether or not I know the schedule of Jeopardy to the minute, it's only 7:22. It's only 7:22. Well, first of all, by the way, Ken Jennings is moving this crap along. Ken Jennings makes this show. This show cooks now. Alex,
Really?
this is one of my heroes. I loved Alex Trebek so much. But he used to leave about 5 clues on the board every round because he would either comment or he was slow and more deliberate. Ken gets us through this crap. Ken gets us through. He motors through this.
I cannot not think of Jeopardy and not think of the SNL
I know.
parody. It's always there.
I know.
Trebek, Trebek, your mother in the bed last night. Trebek.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Okay. We're listening.
Okay. Here, we'll see if you guys get it right.
Okay, what is it? What's the question?
All right. Hold on. The category is world literature.
Okay.
And your final Jeopardy answer is, in a classic novel from 1866, the murders of 2 women take place in this city.
I'm going to write down my answer.
Can I Google it? I mean, I'm not on the show.
And the answer is
Bismarck, North Dakota.
nope.
Oh.
London is incorrect.
Not London.
What is Moscow?
New York City.
Maybe. Moscow is incorrect. And we go to the guy who had all the money, and he came up with Paris.
Is it Paris? Ken?
Kind of interested in what the book was.
Yeah. What was the book?
1866. I was trying to think
Yeah.
who that could have been.
Oh, I didn't get the answer because I thought they got it right. Ken was explaining it to us, and now we don't know what the answer is. We know that they were all wrong.
Alice says Boston.
Boston. Oh, they were all wrong. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were all wrong, but the guy was in a runaway, so he won.
Actually, Michael says Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, that was my little joke to your Bismarck.
Eight-
Little way
Yeah, I was going to say 1866, Fargo. No, I don't think so. 1866, you know, that's Civil War kind of time-ish. So I'm going to say like maybe New Orleans. Was it an American? What was the question again?
In 1866?
Wow, this is an incredible show you're having here, Chris. We're only debating the Jeopardy.
In a classic novel from 1866.
Right.
The
So
murders,
1866 classic novel.
the murders of 2 women.
Mark Twain.
The murders of 2 women take place in this city. Classic novel from 1866.
That sounds like Paris, actually.
Let's say New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Nope. Well, we're just gonna have to wait to find out. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Anyway, that's gonna save me. I'm gonna send it to her, and chances are she'll get it.
Okay.
My girlfriend has like a 500 IQ. It's frightening.
So Susan is a photographer. Susan, tell us what you like about photography.
Yeah.
What do I like about photography? Just the images that I'm seeing in my eye, my mind and my eye, and I'm able to recreate it. So, I mean, that's what I love about photography, and capturing special moments with people. And yeah, like you, I've been in love with it since I think I got my first camera. It was a Polaroid when I was 10 years old. So I've always been taking pictures. As far as a side hustle, you know, not quite there. I've done this and that. I just did a small wedding in October. Not my thing. Wedding photographer. Not at all.
You didn't want to deal with the bridezilla?
It's not even that.
You know, the people weren't difficult or anything like that. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of pressure. Because the thing is, if I called you guys all over to do all of your headshots, and all of a sudden my memory card went to crap, I'll see you next Saturday. We'll reshoot them. You cannot reshoot. You can't reshoot a wedding.
No, you can't reshoot a wedding. And
No.
you know,
Too much.
I've done portraits. I've done headshots. I really like doing nature and that kind of stuff. And you know, you were talking about the project you were working on. That sounds really cool.
It was great.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I mean, when the pandemic first started, I tried to do something in my neighborhood and to give money to charity. I had put something out on our Facebook page to do front porch pictures, like portraits.
Mm-hmm.
You pay like $10 and it you know to the first responders or whatever, but nobody bit. So I really didn't push it, but things like that are really cool to be able to get back.
There's been
you need a social media manager, Susan. I'll send her info to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of my friends who are in the suburbs were making were not making a full living, but were supplementing during last summer by doing family shoots from their cars. So they would literally drive up to the front of people's houses, have the family congregate on the front porch, have them do a few different poses and all that stuff, use a long lens, and they'd shoot a package for them and send it to them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I just didn't try hard enough, I guess. But
you have a job.
I do. Yeah, I do.
You'd be surprised.
This is the Savannah Performance Project, and we're talking about photography.
You guys talk amongst yourselves. Susan and I will talk photography.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's all good. That's a big part of performance is the capturing of the image, the communication of the image. So they're all interlaced. These art forms are interlaced in a way, for sure. So
definitely.
I think David likes my boudoir page more than any of my other photography, if I'm not mistaken.
I never said that. I accidentally liked it on Instagram, and I've had to unfollow it on Instagram because it's like, whoa, hey, okay, not safe for work, family.
Oh, it's very safe for work.
It's very nice.
I happen to live in a place where there are a lot of very open-minded people.
All right, Susan, before I let you go and get back to Jeopardy, because she's going to start watching Jeopardy now, because that's when it comes on there. Any last words?
I know the answer, too.
Any party wisdom?
Who are you talking to?
You. I'm talking to you.
Any parting wisdom?
Yeah.
Call your mother.
Oh, yeah. Always call your mother, especially me.
Yes.
Call my mother.
Don't forget to check in on your mother. She's watching right now, too.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
All right.
All right, Susan. Thanks for joining us. That was very lovely.
Fantastic.
Yes. I didn't get Alice. I wasn't able to send Alice anything out because she's watching on YouTube right now. So apologies to Alice. We'll have you on next time, Alice.
Yeah, we will.
I think you'd be a great guest, actually.
Yeah, she brings a lot of experience performance-wise, as well as the restaurant industry. That's what we had her on to talk specifically about. And it was quite awesome on the show. Again, the most popular show on Toilet Paper Fortune Cookie.
Most popular
the comments going back and forth between Matt and her about the different restaurants and how the different restaurants are so ingrained into the performance. It was really cool how that was all interconnected, and the restaurant business and the Broadway business was very well linked together.
Yeah. I get it totally. Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Because you go to a certain restaurant before you go to a certain show, and then the people coming out of the show go to a restaurant, and the performers all go to a certain restaurant as well.
And 80% of the staff are people who are performers who want to be on shows. So, there's this nice mix. So
yeah, it's been very trying for them to. I mean, there are some restaurants that have closed that were on the verge of closing anyway.
Yep.
And actually, it might have saved them a little bit. But there are also about 4 or 5 right on 9th Avenue that have opened since then. So people are not just going away. I mean, they're looking at it as an opportunity. Yeah. Not only that, but they're going to get some seriously good deals on rent right now, which otherwise you wouldn't be able to open your own restaurant. So, I mean, a lot of the places like the dollar pizza places, they have thrived. They've been telling me like they are crushing it, which makes sense. The liquor stores have been crushing it, as you can imagine. But a lot of people are pivoting to try to find other clientele. The bars around here know that their productivity depends directly on us, but knowing full well that Broadway's not going to be back at full capacity for at least another year. They're going to start opening some of the big shows probably in the fall. They'll probably open with Hamilton and Wicked and Lion King and Aladdin. They're going to do it piecemeal. probably from I would say midsummer through the end of the year. But unfortunately, we're not going to get to have that one day when all the Broadway lights go back on. It's not going to happen. But the restaurants have taken a hit because of that, as much as anything. And they're struggling, and they're building these indoor things, and they've done a very good job of it. But if you have no indoor seating, which we have right now, it's actually opening back up on Sunday for Valentine's Day, and they're going to hopefully leave it open for good. You just can't do it. So a lot of the restaurants have just said, we're going to shut down till March. We're just going to shut it down till March. And the crazy part is there's still a bunch of places you can go. I mean, Courtney and I have gone out several times where they have these outdoor sort of like half open huts that they have heat lamps in, and the job they've done on them is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And as long as it's not like 17 degrees, you can sit out there fine, have a burger, have a beer. They have TVs and all these things. It feels quite normal. But they need to be able to have people back inside. Otherwise, it's not going to survive. But everybody's trying. There's nobody around here that nobody's folded up tent. Nobody has. So we'll see. Hopefully, Broadway comes back faster than that. But it's I think once you get a couple of million people in this city vaccinated, I think people are going to start feeling more comfortable about doing it, because it's not even a matter of can we, it's a matter of if people want to go. I know they want to go. I know people desperately want to go see shows. They want to go see bands. They want to go see movies badly. But when it came down to it, if they didn't feel safe, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't go. So hopefully those two things together will happen very soon. I'm trying to keep
very soon indeed.
It's like a funeral.
yeah. I don't. What are we playing? I at one point I thought it was the theme to Hill Street Blues, but I wasn't sure.
There you go.
Sorry, trying to keep it relevant, but I didn't want to be too loud. So
right, sure.
Perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, it's nice background music, guys. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this again, and I hope with all my hope that TP FCP comes back with a vengeance, because I need the competition. Basically, that's what
I will say right here that it's something that I've been thinking about anyway. A lot of people still do log on to our Facebook page, and we get comments and all kinds of stuff. And I think it'd be very interesting for Dave and I to re-up it now, considering that we've all come to a very different place in the last 6 months. Since from August till now,
some of us literally are in a different place.
Very true. I think it would be interesting to reopen the discussions that we opened up at the beginning, where it's every day we talked last summer, things were changing by the minute, and they still are to a certain extent, but now it's more of just a time game. Now it's more just like, I don't know what we're going to do.
Plus, we can focus on the job at hand. The job at hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to go into that anymore, but you know what I'm saying.
Hopefully we are on the right path now, just as far as having a plan. Whether you agree with any plan or not, there is a plan, it seems now, but it's still going to take a long time, and it's going to be plodding. But as opposed to when Dave and I started this thing, and us going, I don't have any idea what's going to happen. Last April when we started, I was like, don't know,
have no idea. Right.
And I think for the most part, people have persevered, as people often do. People have tremendous capacity, that doesn't, get lauded all that much, and I think it's ultimately going to serve us so well when the next thing hits, which inevitably it will. But there's going to be a lot of damage control that we have learned because of this, that I think is going to serve everybody in the long run. So if
awesome.
If there's an audience, then I'll say right now, Dave and I are going to have a conversation later this week and see what fun we can conjure up.
7 people are watching right now.
Season
7 people.
Season 2, TPFC coming at you.
Awesome, guys. Michael, thank you so much for playing us through the show. This has been amazing. Michael Ray with Mr. Productions or Mr.
Productions. You got it.
Productions, yes, Mr. Productions.com. Actually, I think it's YouTube.
It's .com too. I haven't.
The band didn't have that domain already?
Say that again.
The band Mr. doesn't have that domain already?
Oh, I'm MRMR. I think they're MISTER. Yeah.
There you go.
Watch out for that trademark. Watch out for that trademark stuff. That'll get you.
Every time that'll get you.
All of a sudden, if you bust into like Kyrie or I'm just saying.
I can't remember how that goes.
or take
That's something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
You're gonna get sued.
Probably right there and that, just for that, right there.
Just for that. I mean,
I don't own any of the content that he just played. I'd like to say that on camera.
Copyright flags all across the board on this one. Guys, I do have a little bit that we do at the very end. It's called Sitcom Freeze. If you've seen any of the episodes, you know what this is. This is basically, I give you a scenario, let's say a sitcom. Last time I did a classic sitcom episode. So let me think here. Gosh. Oh
no! You're gonna put me on the spot with this stuff. I'm terrible.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We can do this. We can do this. All right. It is the Mork and Mindy episode.
Oh, I can do that one.
Okay. When they find out that it's an adult male. Okay. And I think you know what I'm talking about. They have a baby and it's an adult male. Yes. Played lovingly by Jonathan Winters. Yes, exactly.
I remember that.
So pick your part. You can either be Mork, you can be Mindy, you could be Jonathan Winters, or you can be casual neighbor. I don't know. And you've just found out. I'm going to count you in, and then you're going to have your reaction. So 3, 2, 1, sitcom freeze.